YouTube Nation, Maven TV, aka Me TV, aka I have to give a special shout out today. 25 years for those who don't know. Happy 25th anniversary to The Legend of Zelda. You know, it doesn't even feel like it's been 25 years. It really doesn't, but it's okay. You know what? It almost feels like it was just yesterday where I was taking Link and I was throwing a boomerang and I was freezing enemies and carrying on. You know what? I believe that was yesterday because in celebration of Legend of Zelda, I played 3D Die Heroes and I downloaded The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past sprite for Link. And let me tell you, it was hilarious. Look, and for those who don't know, Link to the Past was my favorite, all-time favorite Zelda. Okay, I understand the first one's great. And for those who say, whoa, what? Link to the Past, hold on, back it up. Close runner-up, very, very close runner-up was Ocarina of Time for me. Okay, I know a lot of people like Majora's Mask too, but that's just my two. They're just my opinion. They're my two favorites. Okay, so happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy birthday, happy 25 years, Legend of Zelda. Okay, now let's get on to the next thing. All right, guys, Killzone 3. I told you guys last week. This was not going to be a 10 from the gate. I told you this. And what happened? What happened? I understand a lot of you guys agreed and a lot of you guys disagreed. And that's fine because it's your opinion. That's fine. But what happened this week? When it came out, freezing everywhere. Problems in multiplayer. And it's not just freezing and glitches where the fact that, oh, you can just restart your PlayStation, which we all know if you hard reset your PlayStation, that's pretty much a death sentence. Well, that death sentence is starting to happen because a lot of people are complaining. They went and bought the bundle. They put the game in. It's freezing during cutscenes. They restart it and their machine yellow lights to death. And they're trying to say that's the direct cause from it. Now, look, I don't know if it's the direct cause. I'm not going to put blame on software automatically for it, all right? Because we saw that with DC Universe as well. It happened a couple times, and I'm not going to put blame on all the games. But if you have a brand new system, all right, and this happens, either it was manufactured faulty or it is the game. Now, look. Guerrilla Games have seen a lot of flack for this week. There's been, I believe a YouTuber had sent me a link to Guerrilla Games' website. And when I went to the website, I saw all the problems, all the freezing problems that they're having, right? And then while I was reading the freezing problems, it kicked me out to the website. And they asked me, it took me right back to the homepage and asked me for my age. You know? So, and then when I went back again, it didn't ask me next time. And I didn't put in my age last time, but it didn't ask me again. So maybe if one of you guys, the link will be in the info bar for you guys to see. So if you guys run across that, you'll know what to do, okay? Now, with that being said, I told you guys, in these days and times, games that need patches and carry on, nothing is a 10 from the gate. If you're on a quest for perfection, you'll never find it. And that goes not just for games, but for anything, okay? Now, let's get on to the next thing. I talked about this last week, and a lot of you guys had some interesting comments. All right, so we'll talk about this because you guys wanted to talk about it. Mortal Kombat, that's right, Mortal Kombat. As you can see, that's Kratos. Now, I got a lot of questions asking me, you know, is Kratos going to be an exclusive character, you know, when it comes out? Yes, he's PlayStation's property, all right? Now, don't quote me on this, like I said, because I know a lot of people want to see more characters come out, but also understand this. We saw this with Soul Calibur. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would not be surprised. You have to understand that everyone gets exclusive characters these days. We saw it with, with Soul Calibur. We saw Spawn and Darth Vader and all this other stuff. All right, so I would think that games are going to take that route a little bit more these days. All right, but like I said, don't quote me on it. All right, now also a lot of people want to see what Ermac looked like. Now I'm sure there's plenty of pictures online for you guys to see of Ermac, but if you haven't seen them yet, that's the exclusive. That's Ermac right there, buddy. Ermac. He's got a new character design, which is fine. You know what I mean? So he is in the game. For those who don't know, I didn't mention it last week, but if you go and buy the Mortal Kombat, Blu-ray, I believe it's Annihilation. There's a sale coming up, a special promotion for it. You'll get Jade as a DLC character for free. So pretty much they want you to buy the Blu-ray in order to get the character. But we've seen it, exclusive DLC. Here we go again. All right? So I'm not surprised. But for all in all, this game does look good. I mean, Sonya, as you can see, Sonya, the character designs are very nice this time around. Sonya kicking katana looks very nice. Let me say that Mortal Kombat has come such a long way. You know, and as far as I'm concerned, they really need to clean some things up. This one does look like it's going to be good. All right, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the fatalities. I'm not going to spoil you on the fatalities. All right, we'll talk about it a little bit in a minute. But a lot of these, I hope that we don't have to get into this weapon combo system again. I really hated the whole weapon adding into the combos. I don't mind weapons being projectiles like back in the day, Scorpion's harpoon or things of that name, Kano's, you know, blades or whatever. When you throw them, that's fine. All right, and Kung Lao, and yeah, like I said. Every once in a while, weapons are nice, but when everyone has a weapon and they're using it in the middle of a combo with axes, no. It's just way, I mean, Mortal Kombat, as we all know, is already over the top, but don't make it that over the top, all right? And I understand that these developers are having problems coming up with original, fatalities and all this other stuff, fatalities and whatever, friendships, but you have to understand, guys, that I also don't feel bad for them in a way because they opened up this market, all right? So they should know down the line, if this is going to keep going, if it was successful, they were going to have to come up with something new, all right? So it's whatever. But the fact is, Mortal Kombat does look good. All right, and I'm getting tired of seeing Johnny Cage die. Come on, guys. Zombie Liu Kang, stop. All right, just get back to the story. And you don't need so many characters because you're setting yourself, you're spreading yourself thin. You really are Mortal Kombat. Anyways, I'm happy to see you guys do good. This does look like a good Mortal Kombat coming up, so I am interested. I'll keep you guys informed as usual. Everything as usual in the info bar. But you know what? Like I said, I didn't want to talk about fatalities because we have seen a new combo system, some type of X-ray combo system. So let's check that out real quick.
X-ray attack is definitely the most brutal attack that we've ever had in a Mortal Kombat. And it's something that it's very important to understand each fighter's fight style as well as how their X-ray is initiated to have the best chance to land it in combat.
And that's going to be really rewarding the players for like kind of saving and holding up their meter the entire way. And it really brings like a really definitive
and hearing people cheer time and time again after they saw it was probably one of the best experiences about this game that we've really doing.
Been known about secrets. It's one of the kind of like basic elements of it, so I don't want to give anything away, but I'm sure that
so allow his teams to do, Each fighter has their own custom X-ray that we pick based on the fighter's personality as well as the
community questions is because we're going to put up to the games for communities. Where exactly does Mortal Kombat sit in the storyline?
So developers, for the love of God, go old school with this, please. Put Goro as the sub boss, and then put Shang Tsung as the man. All right, cut down your story a little bit, all right? But if you don't want to you want to use Shao Kahn, I'm fine with Shao Kahn too, all right? But no one wants to see Kintaro and Quan Chi and all these. No one wants to see them. No one. Like I said, you took your story and you spread it so thin. Just stop. Just condense it a little bit more. Give us what we want. That's all. You got my trust on this so far, developers. You do. You really do. All right? Just do what you got to do. Now, with that being said, listen to the fans too. Now, with that being said, let's move on. Let's move on to something that a lot of you guys have wanted to talk about for us since last week. I was supposed to mention it last week, but got tied up in other things. It's fine. We'll mention it this week. Batman Arkham City. Let's go with the update already, all right? So, with the update, a lot of you guys sent me a lot of messages talking about how Batman Arkham City multiplayer has been canceled, this, that, and third. Look, what I've been reading off of IGN, and the link will be in the info bar for you guys, is that it was just a rumor. All right, it was never, and this gets a little dicey for me because, like I said, the info that I gave you guys last time was off of a website, which then that website took that down, and then you found out it was off of the Facebook, so you found it on the Facebook, but now it's gone. And I say this because there's been some other things going on their Facebook about factions, and we're going to talk about this because Two-Face is trying to recruit. All right, and a lot of messages, you guys have been sending me messages saying, you know, does this mean we're going to get a creative character? I don't think it does. But I'll explain this a little bit more right after I talk about how this is a single-player experience. Because, like I said, link will be in the info bar for you guys. The developers go on to say the reason why is because, look, they felt if they had worked on multiplayer that it would take away from the single-player game. And we've seen this time and time again between gamers arguing about multiplayer hurts single-player game experience, and sometimes only tacked on and set and third. So you have to respect the developers' wishes. Now, back to the Facebook. Yes, the Two-Face thing is recruiting on the Facebook. For those who didn't know, 2 weeks ago, actually, about 2 weeks ago, Tiger Enterprises, for those who don't know, Tiger Enterprises was a viral site for Hugo Strange who were recruiting people for his faction. Now, since then, a lot of people ran to it. Tiger Enterprise has been shut down. All right, the viral site has been shut down. There's been another site for Batman. If you guys really want it, I'll give you, just ask me, I'll give you the link for I'll put it in the info bar for you. But it was talking about how it actually had nothing to do with Rocksteady. This was just something that someone else made. They had all these, I don't believe that. All right, because the fact is, they had, in this other website, they had screenshots of what everything said before the site went down. all right, about Tiger Enterprises. Before you could just go to that site and see everything, now you have to sign in. And that's why I said if you guys really want it, just ask me, I'll put it in the info bar, because who's going to sign up just to see it? I mean, some guys probably would, but I don't know. All right, so anyway, it's a moot point. Anyways, Batman Arkham City, when I find out more information for you guys, like I said, I'll let you know. There's hearsay that the Riddler has been confirmed to be back. So we're going to get more of that. Detective mode will be, it'll be even better this time around, apparently. It's a necessity, all right? I thought last time it was a necessity, and it was great back then. But a lot of people also didn't like it, you know? But I don't care. I liked it. It was great. End of story for me, at least for me, all right? So, like I said, I will keep you guys updated on Batman Arkham City. Now, with that being said, let's move on. Let's move on. This has to be talked about again, all right? Uncharted Movie update. Oh my God, what the, seriously. All right, now for those who don't know, Scarlett Johansson has been, she's been casted as Elena, all right? Casted as Elena. Personally, I don't think she looks any, Scarlett Johansson doesn't look like the girl next door unless you watched her in Ghost World, all right? But anyways, she's been casted as Elena, and David O. Russell, once again, the director, has opened his mouth, once again, and he says that he has played the game a bunch of times, all right? He's even met with Naughty Dog's Amy Hennig. It's as far as and I quote, as far as I'm concerned, I'm very respectful as the core content and spirit of the game. But then afterwards, he turns around and says, and I quote, what I think is going to, he said, he's going to do what he thinks is going to be an amazing movie. So he's only going to take bits and pieces of this. Look, do we have to do this again? Once again, games, we have to deal with more ignorant assholes. And look, I don't understand this. Hollywood, it's not that hard. Just follow the core content. This guy says he respects the core content. If you respect the core content, then you wouldn't be taking bits and pieces from it, all right? You're going to take some memorable scenes and you're going to throw them in your game. Just like Resident Evil did with, we're going to take some characters and certain action sequences and say, we respect the fans. You don't. You don't. There's a reason why these games have a hardcore fan base. There's a level of expectation up to here. If it's any lower, you lose. You lose. You don't understand it. All you have to do, look, he's going to say, look, it's going to be real. It's going to be raw. It's going to be intense. Look, stop using certain keywords to hype people up. Like you're trying to reassure yourself. All right? Just stop talking. This movie is going to crash and burn. And I will be there to laugh once it does. You have to be kidding me. Hollywood, clean it up. You want to do all these reboots and all this, if you want to take from us, then do it right. Once again, we have another ignorant asshole who thinks this is about him. It is not about him or his artistic vision. It is about doing justice to video game movies. That's what it's about. Anyways, let's move on. You fans have been talking to me about this and want me to speak about it. You want to know so much about it, so I'm going to give you what you want. Dragon Age 2. Let's get into it right now. Look. It says, for those who had the questions, it says, ever since we've seen trailers depicting 3 statements with large dialogue boxes beside them, and we're told it was being overhauled for simplicity's sake. Now, before anyone goes nuts, simplicity isn't a bad thing for this. I'll explain. Okay? It says, I have been slightly panicked over the change, worried it was becoming too much like Mass Effect's Paragon, Renegade, or neutral dialogue gameplay. For those who play Mass Effect, you know what's up, alright? It says, well, after one, it says, the options are now indeed shorter and simplified, whereas your character now, thankfully, has a spoken voice. It says, and expands on the options you select. Secondly, the dialogue tree may look stylized like a futuristic sister, but the icons represent the tone in which your character speaks them. Alright, it says, no Paragon, no Renegade. For example, an olive branch represents that your character will speak in peace, whereas the drama mask signifies your character will respond with a sarcastic or lighthearted tone. There will be around 10 to 15 different icons for what I was told by the BioWare rep who I played with. Look, guys, this is about as close as you're going to get to a create your own adventure. Alright? This is about as close as you're going to get. So Dragon Age 2, for those who have not seen Dragon Age 2, let's do the trailer right now.
There are men who struggle against destiny, and yet achieve only an early grave. There are men who flee destiny, only to have it swallow them whole. There are men who embrace destiny and do not show their fear. Change the world forever.
Now, for those who didn't get a chance to catch the end of that trailer, maybe it went a little bit too fast for you guys, but it said if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get exclusive in-game content. But if that's not enough for you, EA is pulling out all the stops this time. So let's tell the gamers what they won, Pat. Let's tell them what they won. It says, if simply getting to play the game early isn't enough for you, EA is adding an incentive. That's right, guys. So once again, you guys are on the clock with this. It says, for players who try out the demo, it says, people who complete the demo will receive an item called Hater's Razor, an ancient dwarven blade which increases health, mana, and combat abilities in the full release of Dragon Age 2. If that's not enough, let's get into it. It says, additionally, if more than 1 million people download the demo, all of those who do so will receive 2 books in the final release, The Far Cliffs of Kirkwall and Lothering's Lament, which grants money and experience respectively when read. Look, guys, they're pulling out all the stops, and like I said, this is something that if you guys have not tried yet, I say if you're not a fan of Dragon Age, I'd say try it out. You may like, because this, like I said, it's close to about as a create your own adventures you're gonna get. All right. But if you have played Dragon Age, you're a fan of Dragon Age, what the hell are you waiting for? Go try out the demo. All right. Look, guys, that's all the news I have for today for you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a good weekend. I'm out, and go try the demo.